Hey guys, what is going on? This is HayprO of RageQuitTV, gonna be casting a game between Liquid HayprO and a unknown Terran player. It is a TVZ on Korhal compounds, and we did just see HayprO beat Flash yesterday. However, that was a Flash that had only been playing StarCraft 2 for a few days before that match, so you can't really take anything from the results. However, what you can take is how well HayprO's Crete spread has gotten. That was just insane, covering like half the map on Cloud Kingdom in the 12-minute mark of the game. Pretty good job by HayprO. We'll see if he keeps up that creep spread, as he is up against yet another Terran player who have no clue who this is, because it is a barcoded name. And the reason, again, they have these barcoded names is so they can do builds on the ladder without having to worry about the future opponents of GSL finding out what builds they are practicing. Because, well, if they're doing builds on the ladder, chances are they're going to be doing it in some best of series in either Code A, Code S, up and down. Whatever it is, they will be doing it on some big match. Why else would they be doing a build on the ladder? They're not the type of players who just do things aimlessly, like, okay, well, this will be fun to do. I have no plans on ever doing this on television, but I'm just going to do it on the ladder. No, they always are practicing and always try to do something that will benefit them. We do have a 12 barracks going down and a early scout coming out of the Terran player that is at 13. Not going to be getting any gas, most likely, out of this scout. I'm expecting him to go for a 1 Rax Expo and just making sure that HayprO isn't doing anything too greedy. And HayprO, oddly enough, has not scouted. He did not send a drone scout, and on Korhal compounds, at least before the Overlord speed buff, you can't really do any good scouting because his Overlord has to go all the way to the north to be safe. He can't just hop immediately right here because there's a chance that a Marine could take it out, especially if the barracks is built down here, lifts it up. That is not good. So you have to be really passive with your Overlord Scout, and that's why you should always drone scout, because HayprO is not going to see a single thing from the Terran player for some time, and it is a 2 Rax that the Korean Terran is doing, and that's why they kind of started doing these 2 Rax builds yet again, because the Zerg players stopped drone scouting, which means if they don't drone scout, then they are no longer prepared, and now another SCV is going to be sent out at a normal time, so that 13 SCV was not a scout, that was just there to build a barracks. And the key thing to know, this isn't any type of like 12 racks, not something insanely all-in, still building plenty of SCVs back here. I expect to see a command center go down while this pressure is going on. SCV is in here seeing this timing of the spawning pool, sees no gas, and that is a good sign. The drones, they have no clue what is going on, just going to be coming down here, and actually now they do see that bunker, so this is going to be tell it is a 2 Rax just because there are 2 SCVs down here. So HayprO probably going to be building lots and lots of Lings from now on out. It would surprise me to see him build any drones, just because, again, 2 SCVs, that is a little bit suspicious. Lings are going to come up, see those SCVs. And that bunker was placed in a little bit of an odd spot. It looked like he wanted to get in where 1 Marine could fit, and he'd be just safe, but that drone transfer did see it and foil those plans. There are 4 Marines here, 4 Lings, and these drones not mining right now. That is a small loss, but HayprO actually is behind on workers. And just building lots of Lings in the back. Now going to be getting some drones. Still doesn't get any gas. Has the 1 spine crawler up, and this is probably what allows him to get drones. Going to be building another spine crawler back here, just so those Marines can't poke at it. If it was right here, Marines could kind of go down here, poke at that while it's building. So builds it in his mineral line, and then most likely he will uproot it and move it on over to the front lines. And we have an SCV train coming out. The Overlord not in position yet, and this goes again with how hard it is to scout early on this map. With that Overlord speed change, he would have seen this SCV train coming out, but because he doesn't have any scouting, he has no idea about this, and this could just spell disaster for HayprO. We do have the SCVs now surrounding on the spine crawler. The second one is built back here. Lean's going on those Marines. Jones pulled off, trying to pick out all of the Marines. SCVs will be taken out. This doesn't look like it's all the SCVs, but majority of them, but they do a lot of damage to that drone line. Still SCVs alive, and now he's going to be just going up to the main. Does not want anything to do with that 1 spine crawler. 11 SCVs versus 15 drones, but there are still 5 SCVs back here for HayprO that will be going down. He does take out 1 queen, will be trying to get out that second queen. The second queen just barely lives. Some more Lings do come out. Drones are getting taken apart, and now they do get a surround on those Marines. No more cutting against the Lings. 2 more Marines left, and HayprO will be defending this just barely. 14 supply, right now 220 supply, 8 SCVs versus 11 drones, so it looks like the game kind of just reset. However, HayprO did keep this one queen alive, which allows him to do an inject right here, which is going to help him greatly. And actually, I don't know if an inject was the correct call in this one base, because I don't think HayprO has the money right now to actually use the inject with 2 hatches. Should have just done a creep tumor, but his queen was stacking energy, so I guess I'm wrong there. Does an inject here, uses a tumor, now goes all the way up in the main to do another inject. Lings are coming to do damage. There are 4 Marines back here, and now they're doing some nice stutter stepping to deal with these Lings, but it looks like there are just too many Lings. This barracks is still producing Marines. And one is out. He's going to go on the low ground. And this will allow him to get a few cheap shots off on those Lings. Gets 1 killed, and now going to stutter step, doing a nice job. Oh, no, not doing a nice job target firing. Could have done a little bit more damage there, but didn't do the best target fire. We have another Marine coming out. HayprO automatically sent Lings over there. And another Marine does go down, does not take out a Ling. And this barracks is going to be lifting up now, not putting another Marine. We do have 4 Marines back here. And HayprO, I mean not HayprO, the Terran player is going to be building another command center right now. It is 15 SCVs to 28 drones. HayprO does have these Lings following this one barracks. These 4 Marines will be taking out these 4 Lings very easily, but unless the Terran player was extremely smart and sent only 4 Marines, HayprO now knows there's no more barracks in the main base, because that is like the time that if there were like 6 Marines, 7 Marines, then HayprO would know there's 2 barracks in this main. Only sending 4 kind of tells HayprO, hey, there's probably 1 barracks unless he's only sending half of his Marines. So there's that. So HayprO may know that a Terran player is going for an expansion. If he does start droning up heavily, I'm going to be saying, yeah, he does have that idea, or he's thinking about that. Is starting to spread the creep. Looks like 1 tumor did it got canceled. It tried to go out. The Terran player came on and forced the cancel of the tumor, but that is good for HayprO as he just starts expanding it soon as those Marines do leave. Overlord is sitting right here. This could be a little bit dangerous, especially because the 1 barracks did float all the way over here. There was a time when the Marines could have just came out and picked off this Overlord, and then HayprO would have minimal scouting if this Ling does go down, which the Terran player most likely, after killing the Overlord, would go check out that watchtower. HayprO has started his Ling speed. The next 100 gas should go to a lair. We should see a lair any minute now, especially because he is supply capped. I would be thinking a lair would be being built. Is getting an Evo chamber, does have 3 spine coils, getting a macro hatch, so not going to get a lair just yet. And we have both tech labs finishing on these barracks. Probably going to get combat shields and stims soon as he can afford it. Does have the gas right now, doesn't have the money to get both of them. Get stim pack first, then get combat shield, because stim does take longer to build. And also getting an E-base, so he is doing one weird 1-base play. 2 reactors going down on these barracks, and there we go. The stim has finally started, and with triple mules at this base, he's going to be able to build a lot of Marines off of just 1 base econ, which could take HayprO by complete surprise because he is looking for this second base timing. And it is going to be coming out now, but there are going to be a lot of mules over in this main. That mineral econ is going to be off the hook. 26 SCVs versus 47 drones. However, actually 45 drones. But going over to the income tab, we can see that the Terran player is around equal on those minerals, especially once this base does land. The command center giving vision of the Overlord does take it out, does not supply cap HayprO 1 bit. However, HayprO isn't building another Overlord just yet. He is getting +1 attack on that Zerglings, but has no real scout of exactly what the Terran player is doing. Sure, he sees a lot of Marines. Sure, he sees a second Expo, but doesn't know what tech he is at. Maybe that count of Marines could tell him he is not going up to Starport anytime soon. I have no idea what HayprO could tell from that. Any assumption you made from that Marine count probably would have been a risky one to make anyways. So we do have a safety Banelig's Nest out for HayprO, which is good. And this crate spread is very good. The Terran player cannot just go down the middle of the map, because if he does, he will just get picked apart by Banelings. But Stim is just about done, and these Banelings do not have speed. As I did say, the lair was a little bit late. Does have a Spore Crawler to deal with, I guess, Banshees. Just playing this very safe. But if he had that lair a little bit earlier, he may have had the Baneling speed a little bit earlier to be able to deal with these stemmed Marines, because this is going to be a huge pain for HayprO to deal with now. Having slow banelings against speed Marines is not a good thing. He's going to have to get some type of surround so the Marines cannot micro back, because stemming Marines can outrun banelings and do some great force targeting and make them relatively worthless. And I'm assuming this Korean Terran player is very high level just because he has a barcoded name, doesn't want anyone to know. And there we go. Ling's over here. Baneling's back here. Gonna be trying to go for the flank, but that does not do a single thing. These Lings are gonna be going down to these Marines. A lot of damage has been done. We have 18 more Lings on the way. That Spire is about halfway done. And this one base is in danger. It is only Marines, no Marauders, so the hatch may live. We do have more Marines coming in. That Overlord speed is done, which allows these Overlords to live. Can you imagine this Overlord fell? That would have been absolutely horrible. And HayprO is going to be taking out this third base. It looks like getting off another stem. And that third base does fall. Now Broodlings are out. Marines going to be running back. And more Marines are coming, but HayprO getting enough Lings, I think, to be able to deal with this. That Ling count is up to 23. And the Marines are splitting off. Keep in mind, a lot of those Marines are injured. And those Lings picking apart those Marines very easily. And a Terran player has done damage, taking out this third base, killing off some workers, not that many. But picking off the third base was definitely big. We do have this one Overlord. Just seeing this, can see the double E-base, see the armory going down, so he knows those Marines are going to be heavily upgraded very shortly. And HayprO is going for mutas. And in the past, I've said I don't like mutas. I've had a little bit more time to think about it. And in this situation, even though mutas are known for throwing the game, as long as he stops at like 8 mutas, I think it's a great call, because HayprO, right now, I think it's easy to say he is ahead. And how does a Terran player get ahead? They do drops. That's how they get cost efficient with small numbers of units. The mutas don't have to do damage. As long as he stops building mutas, it'll be a great call. He does have 12. I think you can stop at 8, but 12 will be fine. And all you need for these mutas to do is just prevent any drops from happening. If you can prevent the drops, then you can safely go up on 3 or 4 bases and just be in a great shape, because you can do a contain. The Terran player can't really expand of the threat of Ling Bling. He is behind in tech, just now getting siege mode. These Lings going to check for this third base, still building mutas. I don't agree with that. Just needs to stop any drops. That is all HayprO is concerned about right now, and just getting many drones as he can and getting as many bases as he can while working on this creep. The thing that's bad about mutas is we're probably going to see HayprO's injects start dropping, because it is so hard to micro mutas and do injects and spread creep at the same time. That would require so much APM that I don't think anyone really has right now in StarCraft 2. And Stefano has even said that's one reason he doesn't like mutas, because he can't do injects and play with mutas at the same time. We do see HayprO with a magnificent Overlord spread going out right now. Looking at his vision, you can see there's no chance of a drop getting past all the Overlords. So HayprO right now can just safely macro up, use these mutas just to keep an eye on what the army composition is when the tanks move out. Try to pick off one tank. I think that would be the key thing for these mutas to pick off. They shouldn't sacrifice their lives for SCVs. Killing the tanks prevents the Terran player from moving out, which is very good. Allows him to get his more bases up and running. We can see HayprO stacking around 1,000 minerals. Could be taking yet another expo right now. Just has complete map control and is in a very dominating position. 154 supply to 124. The Terran player, though, is at 1-1 upgrades. Going to be finishing 2 weapons and 2 armor relatively soon. HayprO working on his +1 carapace. I don't think he has +2 melee. No, he does have +2 melee. So right now, he is ahead in upgrades. Thor is coming out to deal with those mutas. And plenty of defense around these tanks. Bunker, missile turrets, and Marines just huddling around, because he knows he cannot lose any tanks. Losing any tanks would be a huge deal. And these Marines going to come off, only losing 1 missile turret. Not a big deal there, but HayprO is going up on 5 bases right now. And Overlord still just going off for that spread, getting a magnificent spread. And our Terran player hasn't even tried to do a drop. If he did, he'd be met with a quick and swift death. And even has vision of all the other bases. So HayprO right now knows he has contained the Terran player, but having this number of mutas, like I said, you only need around 8 mutas, 12 is fine to pick off drops. He has spent so much money in these mutas. You can see he has not started his hive yet. So HayprO now falling into that, throwing the game with mutas. thing, building a lot of them while the Terran player is getting a lot of Marines, getting upgrades, even has a Thor to combat Muta. So he's building like an anti-Muta force. As long as he can deal with Banelings, he's going to be in a relatively okay state. However, HayprO will be on many bases, so he will be able to just completely out-macro the Terran player. He's got to do a lot of damage right here. If HayprO didn't build as many Mutalisks, the Terran player still wouldn't move out as soon. I mean, he doesn't want to move out until he has around 3 tanks, so he can start leapfrogging and still one-shot Banelings and Lings or one-volley them. So you don't want to move out until you have a lot of tanks, so having all these mutas doesn't really do all that much. Having the tech, having the hive up would do wonders for HayprO. Now going to be getting that infestation pit at 22-minute mark. And these mutas are going to be coming in. They are clumped up, and this Thor going to get a volley off. Doesn't do all that much damage. We can see a few mutas in the deep red, and a lot of Lings and Banelings coming out. HayprO is maxed. The Terran player is at 160 supply. And this is a very scary time for the Terran player because HayprO has so many units, plenty of Marines back here. The mutas cannot do a thing because of the Thor. That single Thor going to be causing a huge headache. Now these Lings going to make sure this command center does not land. Does not have burst, so he can't just force a scan out. Plenty of Marines are coming in. I'm curious what these Banelings are going to be doing. He is just waiting, keeping them a little bit hidden, waiting for those Marines to overextend. And what would be great is if he had burrow and started burrowing Banelings around instead of just engaging heads up like this, where he does have a lot of units. That's a lot of Banelings that do just instantly explode all at once right here. And, HayprO sacrificing a lot of his army, but he is still maxed out. That is the power of HayprO being on all these bases, just completely out-macroing the Terran player. Sacrifices so much of his army, but all of a sudden builds 100 Lings, and he's back up to max. Has Infestors, but as I was saying, I think it would have been much more beneficial to get Burrow, hide bird Banelings around, use those Lings or Mutas, and try to bait Marines over top of those bird Banelings, much like Slayer's Koka does. He does it so well. You should watch his games, especially the ones I casted, because I point that out. He is probably the best player with bird Banelings, I would say, by far. HayprO did sacrifice quite a bit going over into this Lost Hub. You can see he is behind on the Lost, but he is also behind on 2 bases. That Greater Spire now has started. And HayprO just taking out all the rocks to increase his mobility. Does have lots and lots of Lings working on his +3 attack. Doesn't have +3 carapace. He has just now started that as I was saying it. Does he go for that adrenal glands or adrenal? I don't know what it is. No, he doesn't. A lot of Zerg players just forget about this upgrade. I can't say how much it is. Oh my god, these medevacs are going to be picked up. No, they don't. The mutas do end up backing on off. Going in the workers killed, it looks like maybe HayprO killed a few SCVs. That Mr. is still alive. I don't think he did. And again, scans just now going out. Bird Banelings would have been amazingly strong. And you can keep an eye on these. Lots of Banelings just instantly falling. A big fungal growth though. And now the Banelings are coming in. Another fungal does happen. A lot of Marines will be taken out by those fungals. But that is a lot of medevacs back here. 10 medevacs. Tanks are slowly pushing in. Keep in mind, no tanks really have fallen yet. More Banelings are being morphed. And Scan is going down to take out plenty of creep tumors. And now mutas are going to come in, take out these small Marines, save his creep. And again, one thing Slayer's Coco would do is sneak Banelings in behind the army, burrow them, and take out the reinforcements. Because if these tanks don't get reinforced with Marines, it will be very easy to overrun eventually. But HayprO does have those Broodlords out, so this will force the Terran player to go and back off. I don't think he has enough Marines right here to deal with these Broods, especially with Infestors out. And all 2 Broodlords instantly go down, 3 go down, 2 are still standing. But now the Lings are coming in, the mutas not magic boxing, just going to take out that Thor instantly and be backing right on off. At the same time, we do have Marines just going over here, checking if there's a base. Over here, he knows he didn't have map control, just looking all over. And these medevacs doing a great job at healing this small number of Marines. You can see a fungal growth is going off, but there's Marines still alive underneath this many medevacs. And that one tank still alive. And HayprO may lose this base. He is getting attacked by 4 Marines right here, but does have 2 Spine Crawlers to deal with that. So many medevacs to heal this small number of Marines. Lings are coming in, surround that tank, kill it off instantly. And now the Marines going in a place where those Lings cannot surround. You can see how long it has taken them to kill these Marines with all the medevacs. Even more Marines are coming. We do see 6 Spine Crawlers being built over at this one base all the way to the left. There's Corruptors falling before they can even morph. This one Broodlord does go down while it's morphing. And HayprO going to be losing this base over here. Now it's going to be 3 bases to 4 bases. But this base getting plenty of Spine Crawlers. It is ridiculous how many. Plenty of Broodlords morphing in over here, but there's nothing to protect these guys as Lings do pop. But you can see the Broodlords fall out of the sky very quickly. A lot of Lings do come out. There are no tanks. The Lings are going to be targeting down this one Thor. And these Marines do get picked up in the medevac, going very quickly. We don't have that Adrenal Glands upgrade again. Just a small mistake that is being taken advantage of. This one tank out of siege mode. And those Lings are going to go and pick it off instantly. Handful of Marines coming off over here. Those are 3-3 Marines against 3-3 Zerglings that don't have that Adrenal Glands. Transfuse going off on those Broodlords to keep them back up. HayprO going to be taking this one base yet again. Workers is 61 to 45, and that is a lot of Spine Crawlers, but they don't really benefit too much from upgrades. Don't benefit at all, so these 3-3 Marines are just tearing them all apart. Now the Lings are coming in, morphing in a Broodlord. Still plenty of medevacs to heal these Marines off. And Baneling's dying before they can even get there. A nice fungal growth goes off on a lot of Marines, but the units are not there to complete the damage cycle. And HayprO going to be losing this one base along with a lot of workers. Now it's 43 to 45, losing around 40 workers in that engagement. Gets a nice fungal growth on these Marines. The Broodlords are coming to clean house. And a Terran player is almost out of minerals. HayprO doing not so well as well. Both players very close to being mined out. This last base is remaining. You can see mined out of his natural, mined out of his main. So once this does get mined out, will be very quickly with all the mules mining. He won't be mining at all, and HayprO most likely will. Marines going in a very nice spot where these Lings cannot do much damage, but the fungal growth does go off, and that was a great fungal. And the Marines do go down, still not getting this one upgrade, and this is a big mistake by HayprO. But again, a lot of Zerg players make this mistake, and I just don't understand why. And doing a great job keeping control of this watchtower. Unfortunately, the medevac goes just on the skirts of it, and 2 Banelings going in to the mineral line. And I don't know how smart of an idea that is, because we do have way oversaturation right here. Maybe killing all those SVs, that would be good. But you should never trade your army for a Terran army, especially in this stage of the game. What he should be doing is burrow Banelings. You can see that a Terran player not really scanning when he moves out. And because he's not scanning, allows him to get mules. So just by burrowing Banelings, HayprO would be doing economical damage because he would be forcing scans. Forcing scans means less mules, which means he's going to have less income. So again, all this movement, no scans, he could be punished heavily by burrowed Banelings, which he still doesn't have burrows. So missing the Adrenal Glands and that burrow plate, definitely making it hard for HayprO. But he is up at a lot of broods. Those do have +3 attack. Don't have any armor, but their initial hit is going to be painful. Also, those broodlings are at 3-3. We do have 2 Vikings, not that much anti-air out. But those Corruptors are going to be at 3-0, while those Vikings are at 0-0. Fungal growth goes down, and you can see these Corruptors easily handling that. Marie's going to come out and say, okay, well, I don't want to engage you. I mean, that's a lot of infestors, so I'm just going to be splitting on up. This base looks like it did get taken out by a drop. Unless it didn't just go down and I thought it went down. This command center still hasn't landed. And here we go. The Marines venture on the creep, knowing most of the army is right here. Those Lings waiting for those infestors. And here we go. The Terran player is going to go take out this one hatch. All the drones transfer on over. And now the Lings and infestors are going to be sitting on the high ground. And again, bird Banelings would be excellent right here. Tank's not even worrying about sieging, just using that high DPS on buildings. The 3rd base does fall. He still has this one base not landed. SCVs look like they have fallen along with it. No, maybe they have some. Oh, no, they definitely did not survive. 15 SCVs left out for a Terran player. There's Baneley's going off, exploiting all the tanks. These Marines living through a few fungals. These infestors have a lot of energy going really close to those Marines. The tanks go up in siege mode, target down all the infestors. Beautiful job by our Terran player sieging up the tanks to target the infestors down, taking those all out, and that is maybe securing the win. These Broodlords don't have any answer to the two single Vikings that are slowly picking them off. And these Marines going to be taking out these Lings, and will he have enough with these medevacs? I think he may just barely have enough to pick apart these Queens, and the Vikings just slowly picking apart all the broods in the main. HayprO throws the GG. The Terran player comes back after being so far behind. I really think that goes down to the lack of upgrades. No burrow, no adrenal glands. Wait, maybe he got adrenal glands eventually. Nope, didn't get it. Just the replay being finished. But again, let's look at this one battle. I want to see these tanks with those infestors. There goes the hatch. They're in siege, Okay. This is what I want to see before we hop in SC2 gears. So Baneley's infestors are coming in. Fungal goes down on all these Marines. Tanks kill all the Baneleys. Now they're going in siege. They don't have to go in siege. I mean, if you think about, well, it's a good call. But what I'm saying is, not everyone would just put their tanks in siege right now. They may just target down these infestors. But watch how good of a call this is. You ready? So the infestors are going to get the fungal growths off. And now the Marines can't move. So if the tanks were in siege mode, they'd be outside of range. But now, since they did siege up, they can pick off these infestors while they still have a lot of energy. And so many fungals just get wasted. Such a good call to siege the tanks to focus down infestors as they try to go in their safety zone. So we'll just watch this once again. A little bit fast. You can see some good fungals go down, and I'll highlight the infestors so you can see all their energy as they die. So here we go. Tanks now going up in siege, tugging down those infestors. So many just died with energy, and now they're like, oh crap, shoot off the Terrans. But beautifully played by that Terran player. Well done, sir. And I think, again, bailing landmines would have been a great call. And going back to what I said, you never want to sacrifice your army for a Terran army, especially because he has mules. So if you can contain him to 3 bases and only mining off of 1 base, I don't know why you think killing off his SCVs is a good thing, because he's going to mine that base really quick when he has 3 or 4 mules on it. That's just insta mining out of a base. So contain him to 1 base econ, and you should be happy with that. Burrow Baneley's around for scans instead of mules, I guess. That would be good. But do as much damage to his army as you can, because this income isn't going to last that long. Kill off the SCVs, he's got mules. It doesn't matter. But we will be hopping over into SC2 gears right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Please, please, please subscribe. That really does help me. You don't know how much subscribing does help. But, yeah. Going over into this, the summary will be relatively short. I think the game can be summarized by a lack of upgrades of HayprO. Great macro, great creep spread, lack of upgrades. Let's go to the builds tech. Filter out, train marine. That's search text. I always do that. You can see his macro, not perfect, not bad, but you do see these small openings. I don't think he ever was maxed this game. So at 22 minutes, we'll see exactly what he was doing, and then we'll look at HayprO's injects and probably call it game. So right here is around when. I think that's the last 6 Marines he builds. Has a small idle time on his barracks. There we go. So now he's just chasing down these mutas, and the small mistake right here, not building Marines. Macro slipping just a little bit right now. Again, it's not long. Just showing you how to find things in SC2 gears. So we will be looking at the injects and Unit tiers. Let's get rid of this. This isn't the inject tab, I know. Just show you a few tabs that I normally show before we go. Won't be talking too much about them. There's that units tier. We can go to, back to this, to ability groups and game. It's a lot of Broodlord Morphs. That must be wrong. 28 fungals. Not that many. And units built. You can see 392 Marines built. So many of them. And I said injects. This is going to be kind of funky, actually. And I said that just because we had the 2x SCV pool. So you can see at the 10-minute mark, he's actually at a 30-second inject gap. Finished the game off with a 21-second, and I have to give him props. He's doing Muta stuff right now. Like, all throughout this, that is Mutas. When does the first Muta list come out? So go back to this. Units. Actually, this one. So 1536 is his first group of mutas. You can see exactly how many he builds right there. That is a lot. But going back over into his injects, you can see the mutas don't change his injecting anything. Not at all. And you got little space invaders right here. That's pretty cool. If he only didn't inject a hatch like this one, well, maybe this one, or these two, it'd be like a space invader. Anyways, really nice job injecting with those mutas. Again, these mutas weren't that active. Built a lot of them. I think he overproduced mutas, as I did say. But, yep, I hope you enjoyed the game. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.